Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of CosChat. This week we are joined by the amazing Kawaiiju Cosplay. And we're going to be talking to you guys about Crossplay. So you're going to find out lots and lots about that. That's going to be pretty exciting. What do you think, Bethan?
I think it's going to be absolutely amazing because I'm going to tell you the wonders of Crossplay and everything.
So yeah, you, Bethan, you do a mix of cosplay and crossplay, don't you? So you do a little bit of both. You dabble in various different types of costumes and different mediums and stuff.
I do.
So you're not. So you do video games and you do anime. What is it that you're working on just now?
At the moment, I'm working on more video games. I'm working on Arden from Final Fantasy 15 to go with your prompter, because trash. I'm working on a stupidly obscure cosplay from a comic that no one's read apart from my cosplay, so that'll be great as well. And I'm also working on another cosplay from a game called Bendy and the Ink Machine, which might as well be Five Nights at Freddy's 2.0, because the fan base is exactly the same and full of 12-year-old children. So playing to my strengths, and it's going to be amazing.
So start as you mean to continue.
Yeah.
So
keep us trash.
We might have people in the chat. Find your niche and go for it. So you do different styles of costume.
Mm-hmm.
You might have your niche in those styles, but you do different stuff now and again. So folk might be wondering, what is crossplay in comparison to cosplay? Is it the same thing? What's the difference? What would you say the difference is?
Well, I'd say the main difference is in crossplay, you're cosplaying as a character who identifies as a different gender to what you would personally identify as yourself. Though it can also be kind of broader, because obviously there's some characters that, kind of gender isn't really applicable. It's more kind of expressing yourself as a character who would be conceived as a different gender to what you are, a different or other one. So, for example, like, I'm a girl.
That was a very good way of answering that question. So basic, taking it down to the very, 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 very basic levels of it, cosplay is usually seen as cosplaying a character which is the same gender as you yourself identify.
Yeah.
Crossplay, on the other hand, is cosplaying as someone or as a character or thing which is usually seen to be not necessarily the opposite of your gender, but a gender which is not your own.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it could be.
Explain it.
So it could be a female cosplayer or a male cosplayer cosplaying a male or female cosplayer or cosplay character, or them doing like a non-binary character or a non-binary person doing a female or male, etc., etc. So, Bethan, you do a mix of two. You do. I think the question is not necessarily do you have a preference between the two? It's probably a good place for us to start. Do you prefer what do you find easiest to do? Do you tend to find that you're more drawn to doing male characters or like male presenting characters, or do you find you're usually drawn more to female presenting characters, or does that not actually factor into you choosing a costume? Is it just, I love this character, and you kind of go from there?
I think most of the time I tend to do actually be drawn towards male characters. Like, there's certain aesthetics of like characters in cosplay which I feel suit my fate. When it comes, especially regarding like anime and stuff, there are certain kind of archetypes and body elements that personally I don't have as a voluptuous figure, one might say. So I tend to be drawn towards more lanky, skinny guys as opposed to petite, round-faced, large-bosomed anime girls. So especially in regards to like anime characters, it's definitely more of a like, I feel more comfortable cosplaying guys because I look more like an anime guy than I do an anime girl. Not all the time, so obviously there are exceptions to that, but as a general rule of thumb, I'm probably going to be able to do a better job doing some tall lanky guy than I will like tiny little lolly girl. So play to your strengths, but also, yeah, I don't know, I've always just kind of liked, I guess, the challenge of cosplay. It's kind of, in some aspects, it's a bit more challenging because not only are you making, a costume for a character, but it's a character who's like a different gender to me, so it adds on certain layers of complexity, which are sometimes easy to, slap on a binder, there you go, job done. If it's like a super pretty guy, it's fine. But then other times it might be a bit hard. Like I said, super pretty guys, if like, yes, just remove the breast and instantly I'm the prettiest guy in the world. No. But yeah, other times it's like, like Junkrat, for example, and stuff like that, it's grottier. And I like doing kind of grotty man makeup, which makes it funner because it's something that, I wear feminine presenting makeup every day because, I don't know, society tells me I should, alas. But no, so getting to, wear something different and kind of get out of my comfort zone and try different makeup skills for like guys and stuff, I just find it funner. It's more of a challenge, and it's a nicer way to kind of present, a nicer way, probably not nicer, that's probably not the best way to say it. It's a more elaborate way of presenting the character that I want to cosplay. So yeah, I like it because it's I like it because it's natural.
Because it does tend to involve enough more work, is what we can tend to see. Because for my is it's a lot of contouring, a lot of it's can be very makeup heavy, cross-playing as different characters, or cosplaying as characters of a different gender from yourself.
Yeah, I think, in certain aspects, kind of biology plays into it a lot in regards to kind of like what people conceive as like a male face and a feminine face, trying to kind of portray yourself as another one. There are certain makeup tricks and stuff that you have to do to kind of like reinforce that a bit. So it is about, like I said, it's kind of outside of what you'd probably normally do for your normal makeup. So, I don't have a beard most of the time, but sometimes with cosplay I need to slap on a beard, and that's always fun and interesting and a hassle, but worth it in the end because it looks cool.
Yeah. It adds up. It's a little bit more effort. It almost needs to go into doing a crossplay over the top of, or what you're saying is, for you, doing a crossplay tends to involve a little bit more of the old leg work than just cosplaying as a character the same gender as yourself. We've got people saying, OMG, it's Kawaiiju, and grotty male character is definitely your aesthetic.
What can I say?
So people seem to be...
If it belongs in the bin,
if it's scummy,
I'll cosplay
it. So, was crossplay for you? Was it like I'm going to crossplay? You knew what crossplay was. You saw a character and you were like, this is the alley that I'm going to go down. Or did you have another entryway into this certain subset of cosplay?
Kind of, in a sense. Like, the first way I got into cosplay was seeing cosplayers on DeviantArt and stuff who did cosplay and crossplay. So in the beginning, my understanding of cosplay was, I didn't really know what crossplay was. It was just cosplay. It's dressing up like a character. It doesn't matter if it's a girl, doesn't matter if it's a guy, doesn't matter if it's Pokemon. It's fancy dress. You're dressing up as something. So when I was like, oh, I want to be a cosplayer, or I want to cosplay, it wasn't really like, I didn't think like, I'm going to cosplay, but I'm also going to crossplay. It was like, I want to be that one.
Yeah.
That one's a guy. I'll be that. So yeah, in the beginning, I didn't really know that there was like a term for it or anything. It was just kind of like, be that one. There we go. I mean, my first cosplay was Growl, so that was kind of a bit of a, ambient up in the air. What's going on?
I think everyone's cosplayed Grell at some point.
If you like anime,
it's kind of like the entry-level costume. Everyone's done some level of a Grell costume. It's like everyone's probably done a Kingdom Hearts costume.
Okay.
Like, it's in everybody's repertoire at some point.
That just next to the Naruto jacket is kind of, the three-star pillar of a Triforce of cosplay. Kingdom Hearts, something from Black Butler, and your old Naruto headband that's been behind your bed for about 5 years.
Yeah, like if you will have done one of those in your early years or later years of being a cosplayer, you will have ticked that box.
And if you haven't,
So
you still will.
yeah, like if you haven't done it yet, it's because you're still to do it. It's not because you won't. It's just a matter of time. So would you say that there was parts of crossplay that you prefer to cosplay?
Um, yeah, I mean, this probably isn't completely specific to crossplay, but for me personally, like, I tend to always get a much better response whenever I crossplay. Like, I don't know if it's because the characters themselves are kind of more popular characters, so that kind of generates the more, positive, or not positive, I'm saying positive as if people are like, be gone, thought whenever I cosplay as a girl, but like, no, it's like, people tend to tend to enjoy my crossplays more than my cosplays, which I don't mind. I like my crossplays more than my cosplays, so that's fine. But yeah, I think part of it might possibly be because the guys like crossplay as like I do open binding and I do some stuff that's probably seen as a bit more extreme. So when people realize like, oh, it's a girl, they're a bit more kind of like, oh well,
They're almost more impressed by it.
Yeah, they're more impressed.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, how have you got rid of whoa? So yeah, it kind of
what is this? Yeah.
What's going on? It astounds and befuddles. So I was selfish. I enjoy the attention. There we go. Braga, it's nice to have attention. So I like that people like it. I find that part more fun. And also, I mean, in our friendship group and stuff, we've got some people who are a lot better at cosplaying female characters than I am. So we tend to assign characters to each other. Like, we're doing a group. You'll be this. So I tend to, I get given the guys as well. But I like that. I like being able to kind of, because usually in every single piece of media ever, there's quite a big gender bias there's usually a lot more male characters than female characters. So I like being able to help fill the male character slots in our friendship group. It's like, there we go, I'll take that one because there's one girl and the one person who can cosplay
that
girls
one
really
lives
well.
in the trash. I'll do that.
I like that one. It's scummy and disgusting. Give it to me. Pretty much. But yeah, it's attention and filling the blanks, taking the trash so other people don't have to take the trash. I enjoy that.
Well, we know now that there's parts of crossplay that you prefer to cosplay. Is there times when you find that there's parts of cosplay better than crossplay? Are they maybe easier or more comfortable? Yes. I don't know. Yes to both of those.
Flashbacks to Birmingham in November last year when I opened Bounded shirtless for Junkrat comes to mind. That was hell on earth, and I won't be doing that again. But cosplaying's warmer most of the time. Usually wearing more clothes, so I tend to be warmer. I mean, sometimes it is nice to feel pretty. I'll give it that. Like, my boyfriend definitely prefers it more when I cosplay instead of crossplay. Like, he ain't gonna kiss me on the cheek if I'm dressed as Rat Boy. It makes him sad. So, for his benefit, he enjoys that more. But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, there's kind of the characters I'm drawn to tend to be specific, like, visuals. Just like, I like people with spiky teeth, and I like people with straight bangs, and I like people with long hair, and like I like the kind of stabby ones. So if there's a girl character which has that archetype, yeah, I'm game. I love that character equally as much as if it was a guy. It's just kind of like specific deviant art-esque tropes is probably what I can say. Like, if it looks like it was drawn and deviant art by a 13-year-old girl, doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl, I'll probably want to cosplay it. So yeah, sometimes. Cosplay good. Yeah.
Well, we've talked a lot about these costumes that you do, so it's possibly an idea to let people in who are watching the stream actually see examples of these costumes. So I think Snow's got some lovely photos set up ready for us to let you all see. And Bethan can tell us a little bit about these guys.
It's my boy.
Guys and girls.
Yeah, well, that's Junkrat. He's from Overwatch, and he's the best character in Overwatch. That's Cole. He's from Dragon Age, and he's the best character in Dragon Age. They're both half dead, ratty blonde boys. You can probably see a theme going along here. They both kind of stab people, so once again, fits my quota. They're just both disgusting trash people, but I love them. They're precious. They're precious trash. Like, if it's precious trash, I love it. This was a pain to make. Junkrat was hell on earth to make, but fun. And Cole was slightly less hell on earth and slightly less fun, but still fun. Just Junkrat's, I think more people know Overwatch than they do Cole from Dragon Age. So
yeah,
kind of,
I feel like definitely for games, people have definitely latched. More people have heard of Overwatch than have heard of Dragon Age or BioWare as a company, I think, at this point.
I think I vastly overestimated, because I really love Dragon Age, so I thought everyone really loved Dragon Age. Turns out quite a lot of people don't know what Dragon Age is, which is fine, different strokes, different folks, but I like Dragon Age. That's why I cosplayed Big Hat Boy, because I thought it'd be fun.
Well, you're in good company with the Dragon Age. I honestly believe that anyone who doesn't love Dragon Age just hasn't found it yet. So
if you don't like Dragon
it's a matter of
haven't played Dragon Age, or you've got terrible taste.
Basically, you have terrible taste.
Yeah,
pretty much. And kind of on the flip side of that, we've got your female kind of showing costumes, which has also got lined up for us. And obviously all you in the chat and stuff will see a little bit of a difference.
Not much of a difference, just, still a lot of trash, but the trash got titties now.
Trash, but less blonde boys.
Now it's black-haired girls, the only other genre that I cosplay. That's my wife. That's Satsuki. She's life goals. I'd kill for her, so that's why I cosplay her. And I don't know. I just like Callie because she's a squid. I was just like, I want to be the squid, so I did the squid. There are some interesting sort of different aesthetics, because you clearly are a very talented cosplayer for creating a costume, because none of these costumes are the same. You don't tend to do a style of garment that is just reproduced and reproduced and reproduced. All the characters, while you say, I do scabby blonde boys and I do dark-haired girls, at the same time, none of these look the same. So there's obviously a certain amount of skill goes into that kind of on top of. Because we're all used to seeing cosplayers who change their face depending on characters, but it's even more impressive when you see a cosplayer who can change their face so much and kind of their body shape so much through costuming and the application of makeup, etc. Sorry, I'm totally
which I can imagine is which I can imagine is possibly one of the things which makes, as you said earlier, the payoff for doing a crossplay so much more almost appealing. To kind of say, look at this, look at the transformation is so much more on top of that. To the point where I think you had joked on your, I think you posted something up on your Facebook page, and people hadn't recognised you because they'd never seen you outside of crossplay. I believe that had been a thing at one point.
It had. Bust out the mummy wig. I will admit, most of the people who have seen me in real life has been when I've been crosplaying, so quite a lot of the time, if they see me as girl, they're like, oh, you're a girl. I'm like, yeah, sometimes, Occasionally I'm not a blonde guy, but not very often. But yeah, I think it is quite rewarding to obviously see yourself go from, point A to point Z. It's pretty cool. It's nice to,
it's not even to point B or somewhere in the middle. It's you're scooting right down. You're scooting right down that spectrum.
Go from a 10 to a 1 real fast. But yeah, it's cool to see what you can do with makeup and like, you know, just how kind of body language as well. Like I feel body language is quite important when cosplaying, because you know you can go from kind of like pretty girl to just like proper, just, you know, shoulders back, crotch out, hello ladies, puppies here. So it just, yeah, you know, it helps. And it's cool seeing photos of that, because then it's like, ha, it's me, kind of, lol. And then yeah, when you
but
know,
it doesn't look like me.
yeah, it's like, who's that? Huh. Like sometimes you know, if I'm going through like when it's been like a convention and stuff and people are spamming all the photos, sometimes like it takes me a while if I see myself to be like, that. Oh, it's me. Oh, hello. So
That
that's
must
cool.
be pretty cool though, to have such a sort of drastic change between your day-to-day and your costume style. I feel like that definitely, and I'm sure the chat agrees, shows an awful lot of skill that we can all only hope to one day achieve.
One day, Mr. Tentacles will rub his talons on me. So quite SpongeBob. That was SpongeBob joke for you there. But yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, sometimes I do think
everybody loves a good SpongeBob.
Come on. Everyone likes SpongeBob. I was going to say, if you guys didn't get that reference, I'm disappointed. Mel, because I bet Mel wouldn't get it. I bet she's in the chat. But still.
Going, what?
What? Pop culture? Sorry. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. It's, you know, sometimes I think someone's copied my cosplay and then I'm like, what? Oh, it's me. Okay, calm down. No joke. But,
you get really defensive, and then you find out actually it's you.
It's just
you were just about to pick a fight with yourself.
Yeah. That's me. Okay. But yeah, no, it's cool seeing
imposter.
Just Kill Bill sirens start coming down. I'm like, one of these days. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool to be able to see that and be like, that's different. Well,
I suppose it's one thing saying that people don't recognise you. It's another thing to say that you don't recognise you sometimes, that the change is so drastic.
When my mum doesn't recognise me, that's always funny. She's like, oh, you got tagged in a picture on Facebook and I didn't realise it was you until I saw it was you. I'm like, that's why I was tagged in it, Mum. Glad we're learning. But, yeah.
We're getting there. Mel saying that in the chat that no, she did not get it. So you guessed correctly.
It's okay. Well, I'll send it to you later.
I don't think Mel's ever watched SpongeBob, so
a disgrace.
So I think it's coming about blah 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 blah. It is so warm. It is so warm in the UK at the moment that my brain has literally just melted and rolled out my ear. So I think it is time for a quick 5-minute comfort break, and then we will be back with you, as always, for question time. So if you have any questions for Kawaiiju Cosplay, general cosplay questions, crossplay questions, please drop them into the chat now, and we'll get them all collated, and we will be back with you in a cheeky 5 minutes. See you in a minute, guys. Hey guys, and welcome back. We're now had some water and we're no longer melting. So we are ready to go with the questions. Starting off with, from lovely Mel, How did you get so good at makeup?
Well, debatably, I'm not. That would be the good answer. But lots of trial and error and working out when my face was. Like, I think that's a big thing, especially like contouring and stuff. I think you kind of need to work out that your face probably doesn't have the exact same bone structure as the when you Google how to contour, put the lines here face does, because that's what I did at first, and I look like trash. Like, not the good trash though, like bad trash. So I think, yeah, it's just trial and error, practice, testing what works. Watch a lot of tutorials. Like, I usually watch tutorials about products because then I won't waste my money buying something that's rubbish. Like, if I think like, oh, I need something to do X, Y, and Z, I'll go on YouTube. I'll vaguely search everything. Like, for example, like rigid collagen. I was like, I need to make scars. How can I make scars? So then I went on YouTube, searched how to make scars, watched like lots of different tutorials, saw different methods, and whatever one I was like, this one looks the best, I bought the product for and then tested it on myself and was like, yes, this works the best. I'm glad I researched that before buying these 7 other things that didn't work as well. So yeah, trial and error and watching other people do it well. So then you can do it well.
And as you said, and learning what your face is. So that you know what you're putting on to what. Yeah. We've got someone asking, saying they're looking to crossplay, but they're worried about the big boobs. Do you have any tips with how to deal with that?
Be born with tiny boobs is the least helpful answer I can. I'm going to be honest. Like, whenever it comes to binding or crossplay, you're always running a risk. Like, that's the first thing I will always tell anyone. Like, binding inherently to get rid of your chest is dangerous. Like, if you can get away without doing it, don't do it, because you are effectively crushing your flesh against your, like, it doesn't matter how safe you are, like, just wearing 2 sports bras, any pressure on your chest is inherently dangerous. So you kind of gotta, take that into consideration. But with everything in life, we take those risks and we do it anyway. So I'd probably say, get a good binder. Don't duct tape the chest, because you will die. Don't ever do that.
Just PSA, do not tape your chest. Just don't tape your chest, because tape doesn't. This is binder chat with Luke time. Buy a decent binder, because that will expand and contract with your breathing. So, because it's made out of like stretchy material that will flatten your chest, but also let your ribs and your lungs do the things that your ribs and lungs are supposed to do. Guess what doesn't do that? Tape. Tape is like solid, and when you put it on, and if say you've like inhaled to tape, you're not going to be able to exhale again, and that's how you break your ribs, children.
Yeah, you'll die.
That's how you break your ribs. Don't do it.
But yeah, kind of. I mean, like I said, if you don't have to do it, don't. Usually, if you wear like a bra with absolutely, if you wear like, I don't know, nursing bras and stuff, like proper, like no, nothing inside the bra, like no padding, no wires, absolutely nothing. Wear one of them, and then just like a baggier top. To some extent, you can kind of like, even if you're, packing some big ladies up there, you can kind of dampen them down a bit. But if that doesn't work, layering 2 tank tops can work, which can be, a more comfortable way. Kind of trying to get your belly and your chest to be at the same distance can work a lot, because some things I do see people do is, if they've got like a particularly large chest, they'll compress it so much, but then it's to the extent where like the stomach is larger than the chest, not for like them being a large person, just because they're binding so damn tightly on the top that it's then like some kind of concaved odd look, like, it makes it more apparent, like it's not subtle anymore. You can kind of pass off some level of breast tissue as its pecs. Guys have chests, like everyone got pecs regardless of gender. But then if you're so obsessed with it, trying to make it flat, it starts looking weird. So like, doesn't matter. Most of the time, no one's going to notice regardless, and a little bit of chest ain't going to matter. So yeah, soft bra, a good binder, very good binder. Like, layer up some tank tops, that kind of works. Or baggy clothes. Like, the more layers you have, obviously, not in this weather. You'll die probably more than the tape if you try to wear baggy clothes in this weather. But, like, just kind of ruining your figure will make you look like you don't have a chest. The more frumpy you look, the less of a chest you'll have. There we go. But obviously, if you go for some pretty boy in, like, a spandex suit, you may just have to deal with having a little bit of chest. Like, there's only so much you can do before you're just going to damage yourself, and no one cares that much. Like, no one's going to look and be like, that girl has a little bit of boob in her boy cosplay, so it's wrong. Like, no one's that petty. Just it's
always stay safe above everything else, I think, is the idea. If you're gonna bind, look into how to do it properly. Don't cut corners and do things the super cheap way, because usually there's a reason there's an expensive option, and usually the more expensive option is the safer option, and there's a reason the cheap option is so cheap. You only get one set of ribs, but you'll have money again. It's probably the best tip on the whole binding thing. Time for some more sort of general cosplay questions. What got you into cosplay?
Like every preteen on the internet, on DeviantArt in like 2005, I saw Parlay and was like, I like Kingdom Hearts, what's that? Lol, why are they dressed up like Kingdom Hearts? What is this? And then I was like, oh, it's called cosplay. I want to be them. So then I did. Jokes. I was on DeviantArt a lot, and there was like probably 5 main cosplay groups on DeviantArt. It was like Parlay, I think it was Infinity Gin, like Twin Falls, and that one other group who cosplayed, like Riku and Sora, but wasn't Parlay. Like, I'm not sure who they were, but I can't remember the name. But then they were like the 5 big ones. That was 4. That wasn't 5. That was 4. Whatever. Betting can't count. I'm here to talk about cosplay, not about numbers. But so I saw it on the internet and thought, that is amazing. Like, wowie, I want to be like, because the characters I really love. Like, sign me up, fam, sign me up. And so I then waited.
Love that she'll go to wear his skin.
Yeah, I love them. So I will wear their flesh as a onesie and adorn my body in thousands of pounds worth of memorabilia. That's the only way you can be a true fan more. That was a joke. But saw her on the internet, but I saw her on the internet when I was really young, and I wasn't allowed to go to conventions until my first convention was when I was like on the cusp of turning 18, like I was like 17 and 11 months. So, Babu started old. Like, I see kids nowadays and they're cosplaying when they're like 11. I'm like, oh, my mum wouldn't let me cosplay when I was 11. So yeah, I saw on the internet and then wanted to do it for like 6 years, and then actually was old enough and had money to do it off my own back instead of badgering my parents. So then I did it. The end. Bethan's origin story right there.
The origins of Kawaiju cosplay. I suppose you've already kind of covered it, but what kind of, you've told us what inspired you to start cosplay. Is it still the same things that inspire you to keep cosplaying, or do you have like a new thing that kind of keeps you going?
I think like now, because I'm like old and I have a job and I like my job, but it's stressful and I'm a real person, like I'm an adult now and life is hell and suffering. So cosplay gives me something nice to do. Like, it's fun. It's stressful and there'll be tears, but it's self-inflicted pain. Like, cosplay is just fun. I've always liked arty stuff, and I always like making stuff, and I've always been really obsessive about characters. So cosplay is kind of like a nice amalgamation of all that shoved into one thing. And like now all my friends do cosplay as well. Like I don't think I really have any friends who aren't tenuously tied to like cosplay or conventions. So, everyone else is doing it. Let's just drink the Kool-Aid, fam, and keep on going. Might as well. So yeah, that's why I keep cosplay, because it revolves around every aspect of my life. But it's fun. It gives me something to do.
I understand that feeling.
Yeah,
I understand that feeling well. If you could wake up tomorrow morning and there would be a costume ready-made, just sitting there waiting to be worn, and it could be literally any balls to the walls, extravagant or simple or whatever, what would that dream costume be?
Oh, dingly dang it. I'm just looking at my wall of things I like to try and think what would it be.
Look to the shrine, it'll answer your questions.
Oh, okay. It'd be a Roadhog cosplay, like a massively really good Roadhog cosplay. But I wouldn't wear it. I'd make Max wear it, so then I could cosplay Junkrat and he could be Roadhog. So like, it wouldn't be cosplay for me; it'd be cosplay for someone else. But it's costume that I don't want to make for me, so I'm forcing it on someone else. There we go. Because then I can be like I
so
really want
your dream costume.
Yes.
Your dream costume is not a costume that you want to wear.
Yeah. My dream cosplay is forcing Max to do the cosplay that I don't want to wear. But so that we can then cosplay.
If you had to choose a dream costume. If you had a dream cosplay that it wasn't getting worn by Max.
Arden.
It would be Arden.
It'd be Arden because
you don't want to make that.
Man, there's gonna be tears about this cosplay. Like, this thing is already expensive as hell. I don't need like the physical toil of making it into reality. So yeah, Roadhog or Arden.
But Arden, I feel like having that stress and toil will kind of almost get you into character for being Arden when you get to the end of it.
By being bodied
and
screwed over so badly by the whole world, I will truly become the Arden experience. My plan for Manchester is just rock up with like a job application form of just special skills, very good at stabbing, and just leave it at that and just pass it out to like specific spoilery
anyone.
Yeah. Very good at making you cry, lol. But yeah, Arden. There we go. As a really long roundabout answer to your question, which I didn't answer right the first time, it'd be Arden.
No, by all means. It's an unusual. It's not usually the answer that we get is please make a costume for my boyfriend so I don't have to, and I'll just wear one I already have. But it's perfectly legitimate. And I look forward to seeing Arden.
So do I.
My Prompto doesn't, but me as a human looks forward to seeing that costume completed. You've clearly made quite a few costumes in your time. What was your favorite one to make so far?
Probably Junkrat. He was just fun, and it's got like lots of elements like the arm and the wig and the tires and stuff. Because like I've done, like, but to any of the two people in the chat who don't know, I've done 2 Junkrats. So both of them were fun because he has a big tire, and that was cool to make. That was like a cool prop. Like, I much prefer prop work to clothes because I hate sewing. Like, I'll do it in every single cosplay, but I'm not gonna like it. So if I can make a big prop instead, that's cool. So yeah, probably Rat Boy. He was fun. He still is fun. I'm still gonna do like 6 different versions of him, so he'll continue to be fun.
Yeah. It's always good when you find that character that you can have different versions of and just keep milking it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, my plan from now until like 2022 is to just keep doing Junkrat.
Just on loop, infinite Junkrats.
It's like never ending. It's the true like trash man army, party of one. It's just me in 17 different outfits. It's gonna be great.
You should do a master cut of that one day.
Should. I'm gonna make like a spawn room video, like pre-match, and it's just gonna be me photoshopped, like just 17 me's, just like vigorously crouching up and down.
I look forward to seeing that. I want a gift of that.
You can have one, mate. It was great.
So you've told us what your favorite thing to make was. Your favorite to wear, is that the same costume, or do you have a different one that's just it's maybe wasn't as fun to make, or maybe you didn't make, you bought, or was just heavily altered or whatever, but was really, really fun to wear?
Homestuck. I loved wearing Homestuck. Like, I'm trash, but that was so fun. Like, back in the day when Homestuck was pure, disgustingly massive as a fandom, like, rocking up to a con in a really good Homestuck cosplay, you were like a king. Like a king among a sea of children. So that was cool. I used to cosplay Eridan and Pora from, I say really good Homestuck cosplay. I just want a prerequisite with, my Homestuck cosplays were not good. But at the time, I thought they were really good. So yeah, Eridan Pora, like, to my deathbed, he will be a terrible cosplay, but a one hell of a fun cosplay. There is the one cosplay where I've had, like, cosplay hating because, the Homestuck fandom was weird. So people would do that thing where, like, they couldn't distinguish between character and a human being. So I got a lot of, like, in character and out of character death threats for that one. So I was just like, what? I'm calling the police. So Eridan's fun. Eridan was fun to wear. I mean, washing out grey body paint from your ears for the next 3 weeks after cosplaying, it wasn't so fun, but as a whole, it was a good time. Now it would be terrible. If you ever see me wear that cosplay, just punch me, please. Let me die, Pappy. It's time to end it all.
This is probably a good one to ask you, because you tend to find that people that have been cosplaying for a while tend to have stuff that they did at the start of their cosplay career that you couldn't pay them to do now. For me, it was working with prosthetics, especially latex, or crepe wool facial hair. For you, what is that thing that you were once really, really game to do and put yourself through, and now you're just like, don't need that in my life?
Body paint. Yeah, from Homestuck, I was like, I will paint myself grey every night to go on Omegle. This is perfectly fine. I'm 100% okay with this. Now, like, I tried to cosplay the guy from Hannah Is Not a Boy's Name to, like, London MCM about 2 years ago, and I was just like, that was only my face, and I was already, like, save me. So yeah, anything with body paint, even though I've just said that, and one of my next cosplays is body paint, so ignore me. Apparently I'm a dirty liar. Apparently I'm still willing to do it because I hate myself. One time I did...
Oh no, just because you will still do it, that's a given, because you will still continue to do the thing that you loathe doing.
Yeah,
but at the same time, you're like, where you used to be really up for it, and now you're like, no, I'm going to complain. I'm going to complain so hard. I'm going to complain so hard about this.
Pretty much.
I'm an old cosplayer now.
I've seen it. I've done my time. Like, never again. Apart from next time.
Apart from later. Cosplay pet peeve.
Well, I've just seen the 5-minute warning, and this would probably go on for a lot longer for 5 minutes. So I'm just gonna condense my soul into a tiny, manageable package, because boy howdy, do I have a lot of pet peeves. This is one I have to word carefully, because people always misconstrued it and seem to take it the wrong way. So let me think about how I'm going to say it before I say it, because I don't want this immortalized on the internet and someone being like, Kawaiiju Cosplay is a bomb. Oh. But yeah, okay. I am not fond of when people who are not as... And I'm not talking about people who are new to cosplay. This is the thing. This is the part that I need to kind of pre-Wexit, because people always get confused. This isn't about new cosplayers, okay? Like, everyone starts somewhere, everyone tends to look terrible, and then they get better. So this is not about newbies. But I do not like it when people who are not very talented or have limited capabilities are horrible to someone whose cosplay is, amazing. Like I think it's fair to say some cosplayers are just amazing. Like some people, you know, I know people like to say like, you know, oh, everyone's equal, everyone's. I don't believe that. The world is not a plateau. There is a skill level. You are not better as a human being if your skill level is higher, but the ability to acknowledge talent is not inherently a bad thing. So I don't like it when people who aren't very good are really mean to people who are really good just because they're really good. Like you always see on Facebook, like you always see someone's done like this, you know, bum to the wall amazing cosplay, and then there's one person in the comments like, actually I can see a misplaced seam down your leg, and it's usually another cosplayer, and then you'll click on their page and you'll be like, it is strange how you would point out that misplaced seam when you seem to have misplaced all of your talent and social morals. So yeah, I don't like people who are, and I'm not talking constructive criticism as well. That's another thing that I need to say here. Like, you know, there is a time and place for constructive criticism. Like you can, you know, sometimes
because there was a bit of a blow up on one of the Overwatch cosplay pages earlier in the week when I think it was a girl had posted up a picture of her female McCree cosplay.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, here's my female McCree cosplay. And the number of folk who basically, McCree is not a female character, but she feminized it in her style of costume. And she clearly does a more sort of sexy style costume. So she had gone for a crop top and a short, while still using the hat and the cape and like the main recognizable cosplay elements, the belt buckle, etc. But the majority of people who seem to have not an issue with the question that she was asking of the craftsmanship of her costume, but more of an issue that they didn't like the fact that she was showing skin, which if someone's asking you for feedback, give them the feedback relevant to what they're asking for.
Exactly. I think that's
don't crap on someone's costume because it's not to your taste.
Exactly. Especially
just because you wouldn't wear it yourself. Just because you wouldn't wear it yourself doesn't mean that it's not a good costume. And that person isn't enjoying themselves. Just basically don't be mean, I think, is what you're kind of saying.
Yeah, okay. Do not throw rocks in glass houses, I think is, as a general statement. Do not, you know, do not pee on people for what you perceive as being bad when you yourself are not very good. Like, that's the point. And the thing, no one's ever done this to me. Like, whenever I say this, people always seem to think like, oh man, you must have got picked. Like, no, I've legitimately never really had anyone be mean about my cosplays or anything. But this is something I see a lot of people do to like cosplayers I look up to, and I just think like, what are you doing? Like, what? You're just saying you're picking at these things that aren't issues, and not even in a constructive criticism way. You're just, you're just being rude to make yourself seem better. Like, don't do that. Like, the cosplay
arguments for argument's sake.
Yeah. There's like that you are throwing those rocks in that glass house of poor craftsmanship, my friend, and you do not need to be doing that. Like, the internet is immortal. Everything you say and do will be remembered. That's right. Yeah, that's something I don't think people ever remember as well. Think carefully about what you post on social media, because it will come back to haunt you in every aspect of your life. So I don't like cosplayers who will say one thing and then suddenly change their mind, and then not expect to get absolutely bodied when people call them out on, the shenanigans, because the North remembers, okay? The North remembers. Like, you're not getting away with that, my friend. So yeah, there's 2 rants and one that took about 20 minutes. Yeah, I have more.
It actually took exactly 5 minutes. So you were spot on time-wise.
I thought 18
you did good.
Jokes, I'm quite
I think the 2 that you had could pretty much be summed up with people not having a certain sense of self-awareness.
Yeah, people being dumb. Like, don't be a fool.
Because at the end of the day, everyone's for the most part, cosplayers are adults. You have some, like, older teens. But for the most part, cosplayers are adults. In costumes they made in their garage.
Don't be a foot because you're a grown person dressed as a goddamn peak. Like, simmer yourself, Jeremy. Simmer down and just think about what you're doing. I dress as homeless
Enjoy
people.
it. You can enjoy the hobby without, and like be good at something as well without being mean to putting people down to put yourself up. Because
clambering on the dead bodies of those you trashed into the ground is not a good way to achieve fame in this fandom. Because they'll remember.
It's not a good shout. Last question for you.
Yep.
Where do you see yourself in cosplay in a year's time?
Well, I like to attend more conventions. Like, next year I want to go to CooperCon. I want to go to the Final Fantasy convention down in London because that looks really cool. So I'd like to physically be there from like a more kind of metaphorical myself as a human being sense. I'd like to finally be able to make sleeves because I can't make sleeves. Like, I hate
Don't
sleeves.
we all?
Yeah,
Don't we all?
I mean, like, this year I've started to kind of attend as like guests to things as well, which is pretty cool, and thank you for people who let me. BunderCon, for instance, let me attend as their special guest in the week. But yeah, so I'd like
On
to do
my
more
couch.
of that. Yeah, that's my bed. Ah. But yeah, so I like to kind of attend more cons, be part of more cons, you know, kind of, it's fun. Like, with the costume and play guys at Insomnia, like, I really enjoyed helping out the Masquerade when I did it that one time. Like, that was really cool, seeing kind of cosplay from behind the scenes and stuff. Like, that's fun. I'd like to do more of that. Like, you know, maybe I'd like to judge a Masquerade. I like to help with some lineup stuff. I like to be part of some collabs, like do some spicy YouTube collabs. That'd be cool. So yeah, in a year I'd like to be a god among men. I would like people to fear me when they hear my name. I would like to be remembered until the sun burns out and we all die. Yeah, that's my goals. That's hashtag goals.
Well, on that very exciting note for where we're going to be seeing Kawaiiju, hopefully a year to the day, on here as part of her New World Order, in her amazing crossplays. Thank you. I'll be like the one with the fan in the background.
Yeah. My 6,000 Junkrat army will finally be complete.
So I would love to thank Bethan, our wonderful Kawaiiju Cosplay, who you can find on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, for joining us today and having a little chat about cosplay and crossplay, and get you all hype for our exciting folk that we've got next week, which is going to be Ergo Cosplay, which is a cosplay group, and they'll be talking about cosplaying as a group of people and starting out on YouTube and what you can expect when you're starting out on YouTube. Because we had Victor, who's a little bit of the guy for YouTube stuff, so we're going to see a little bit on the we're just starting up side, so that'd be quite interesting if you guys are wanting to see more of it behind the scenes of cosplay and YouTube and what it's like running a group cosplay. So we'll see you then, guys. Same time next week. Bye-bye.